Greetings, one and all, to the most cursed, most cringiest corner of the internet. A YouTube channel content creator actively alienating everyone in both the analog and digital world. Well, welcome and good evening, you wonderful dice of all alignments. I am Lunar D8. She wore a blood-red dress and a hat. The design was completely different from anything humans wore. Her hair was blonde. It had countless beautiful curls like a princess from a picture book, but there was no trace of cuteness about her. I did think you were a bit different from the other humans, but it seems I was mistaken. Forget just a bit, you're nothing like those other humans. You sad witch who can be seen by no one, heard by no one. Have you been pulling these pranks all this time just to catch the attention of humans? I use what little magic I have to interfere when humans aren't looking, but no matter what I do, none of them think it's magic. They decide that they just made a little mistake and blow my existence away like the candles on a cake. If so, then I've just saved you because I understand you and have perceived you. Saved me. To me, this meeting with you is nothing more than a new way to kill time. It's getting dark. I don't have time to play with you anymore. Oh ho? My apologies. I was so engrossed that I didn't notice the time. Please give it back. My cleaning tool. That small broom, or whatever you call it, it's right there by the next window, but as soon as I get close, you'll move it to the next window over. My form is elusive, as is my magic. With a snap of my fingers, I can do anything. The witch snapped her fingers, and various things throughout the chapel were sucked into a black pitfall beneath them, disappearing. No, they didn't disappear. The instant they vanished into the dark holes, other dark holes appeared in completely different parts of the chapel, and vanished objects fell out of those. Chairs, musical scores, clocks, and vases started appearing and disappearing all across the room. It made me feel as though countless tools were flying about the chapel. I can do things like this, but don't. After all, this would be a bit beyond a mere prank, don't you think? I wonder what the difference between a prank and magic is to a witch. When she snapped her fingers again, all of the loud flying objects returned to their original spots, and silence fell. I've taken a liking to you. You've perceived and captured me. It works the same in reverse. I have perceived and captured you. The Fukuan director told me not to try and see evil beings. If you see them, they will possess you. Now that I understood this witch, a bond had been formed between us. That is correct. Now that you have acknowledged my existence, I have formed a bond with you. After all the years I've spent in boredom, it will be nice to have a young kid like you to talk to. I'll talk to you from time to time, so will you stop pulling pranks like this? No, I'm not here to talk to you, but to play with you. And if we're playing pranks, are just part of the game, right? Very well. I've had enough fun for one day. The sun is sunk and the moon is full. I'm a bit tired after appearing in front of you for so long. Let us call it a night. Look how much fun we had with just a single broom. Please give it back. No way. I'll keep this as a token of our meeting. Got a problem with that? If I said I did, would you give it back to me? I never listen to humans. However, I might lend an ear to a friend. If you give it back, I'll acknowledge you as a friend. Foolish woman, did you actually think that alone would make me want a deal? If you want to make a deal with me, try drawing a mysterious magic circle or two, and yet I might consider your proposal. What do you mean, you might? I'll take my time in deciding whether you are worthy to be my friend. After all, to be a witch is to be a contrarian, an amanojaku. If you ask for an answer, we'll never give you one right away. Understood. Then I'll leave the small broom with you. Please give it back when you decide to become my friend. Very well. Will this broom become a bridge of friendship between us or not? I will hang on to it for now, making my decision in my own good time. When the witch snapped her fingers, the broom, for which I had searched for so long, fell out a hole in the air. landing between the fingers she had just snapped. This is goodbye. This game with you was far from boring. Let us play again sometime, if you're my friend, that is. When a cat toys with a mouse, does it try to become friends with it first? Yeah, that's how Tom and Jerry works. The witch faded away. As she did, the eyes of my heart shut themselves. When I returned to my body, I felt suddenly tired and let out the breath I'd been holding. Of course, when I turned around, there was no one to be seen. I couldn't feel the witch's presence anywhere anymore. It had gotten very dark by this time. I decided to leave the chapel. There's no point searching for the small broom any longer, not until the witch decides to give it back. I went out of the chapel. The chapel key had been left in the lock. I used it to lock the door. What am I going to do about the small broom? There's nothing I can do. I can't even blame the witch. I must acknowledge that I'm responsible for giving the witch a chance. When I happened to glance downwards, I saw a small broom lying there by my feet. It was the broom I had been searching for all this time. Don't tell me that it'll be swallowed up by a dark hole the instant I bend over to pick it up. No. This is a sign from the witch, a sign that she acknowledges me as a friend. I picked it up. Oh, I am one, yet many. The first friend I made after coming to the island was apparently not a human at all. However, when I think back on it, it was only natural. What other sort of friend would you expect to make on a witch's island? This was the first meeting between me and Beatrice. However, as some of you listeners may have noticed, this was not a meeting with the real Beatrice. The witch I then called Beatrice would later be known by another name. However, she was clearly not human, and being bonded with one who is not human means being bonded with their world. I still had no way of knowing the varied fates that waited for me on Rockinjima. End of Chapter 2, The First Friend. Yeah, seriously, not only was Yasu slow-witted, that kid also lost stuff all the time, but even so, Yasu always had this look like someone else had taken whatever it was away. It really pissed me off. That kid just didn't know how to concentrate. If you always act in that dreamy way without thinking, it's no surprise that you'll do bad work. But it was only like that in the beginning, right? After some time, the kids started concentrating, and all of that bad stuff stopped happening. Wasn't Yasu like 7 years old at this time? Really? Well, it was all stuff that anyone should be able to do anyway. Learning to do things that everyone can do is part of growing up. I doubt the rest of you were so clever about everything when you first started, yes? Are you kidding? If we weren't clever, we'd never have been selected to work for the Ushiromiya family. We're supposed to be the elite. The fact that Yasu was young was no excuse. That's right. If Yasu is supposed to learn cleverness by growing up, then that should have been done before coming to work for the Ushiromiyas. Come on, that kid worked really hard to balance school and work. I think you're all being too harsh. We were selected because we made it through a harsh process, right? There's no need for us to pamper Yasu. I'm sick of this. I don't get why someone as dull-witted as Yasu was chosen. Being selected as an Ushiromiya family servant was an achievement that all the Fukuan children respected. The older servants had achieved glory by making it through the strict selection process. Yasu was so clumsy that they all wondered why that child had been chosen. Of course, Yasu was working very hard for a child of that age. However, before long, the unsatisfied older servants started being mean to Yasu whenever they got the chance. Even after getting used to life on Rockinjima, Yasu didn't manage to make a single friend, at least not any human friends. Chapter 3. dazed and raptured. Ho 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 ho, yes, that can sometimes happen, and always when you're busy. Perhaps a fairy is pulling pranks on you. It's a witch pulling pranks on me. I mean, I knew I'd put it right there, and when I looked away for just a second, it had disappeared. The witch had pranked me again. I left my master key behind. Madam found out and I got in a lot of trouble, but I always put my master key in my pocket after I use it. Why was it in a place like that? One, she's kind of being a bitch for yelling at the infant she threw off a cliff. And it was technically her husband's brother. Two, I mean, I think it's normal to lose things, Tyler Durden. And this is the third time it's happened. The last 2 times I realized that it wasn't in my pocket and managed to find it before anyone found out, but the third time Madam found out. I was really mad and frustrated with that witch in the red dress. Oh, Beatrice Alma's pranks can be quite troublesome, but if you're dealing with a witch, shouldn't a ritual of some sort do the trick? A ritual? Kumasawa-san started fishing through the kitchen cupboards, saying, "Now where did that go?" The thing she finally found and brought to me was a kite string. Okay, I understand you guys are being nice to Yasu because, you know, Yasu, Leon is one, Genji's actual child. Not Genji, Kenzo's. So, I mean, Yasu is a Yushiromiya that fell off a cliff and then was raised in an orphanage. But I kind of feel like there should be like some concerns, guys. Like it's one thing to discuss this stuff with the witch casually, but to talk about it like this means one of 2 things is occurring. 1, Yasu is actually encountering the supernatural. Or 2, Yasu is Tyler Durden. So either there's something occult happening, or there's a fight club starting. Or both. I'm just saying, did therapists not exist back then? She stretched out for me to see, then used a knife to cut off a 50-centimeter piece. Try tying this end to the key, then tie the other end to your pocket button or some other place that doesn't stick out. This charm represents the ritual of the spider web. And again, that's another thing. Not only is Natsui yelling at the servant, kind of being a bitch about things. 1, why does it matter if you really lose the master key? You're on a fucking island. Who's going to break in? 2, this is the infant you threw off a cliff because you're a bitch. She's also Kinzo's son. So technically, had you not thrown him off the cliff, Yasuda wouldn't be a servant. He'd be the successor and your boss. But even then, at most, Yasuda has become like, what, 10 years old? You're yelling at a 10-year-old for losing something? It's kind of a fucked up thing. This charm represents the ritual of the spiderweb. Sushigumo? A spiderweb? Like the ones the evil spirits of Rakanjima fear? Good, I'm glad you remember. It is said that the spiderwebs on this island are imbued with magical power and that they can be quite effective in repelling evil. See, if you stretch out like this, it looks like a spiderweb, doesn't it? Oh, this way, that spiderweb hitting Beatrice won't be able to prank you anymore. That does make sense. It really does look like a spiderweb when pulled tight. Since Kumasawa-san says so, it must have some pretty strong evil repelling power. I can just ask her to make several of these kite strings for me. And then I can tie them to everything I don't want to lose. But of course that wouldn't be very practical. I'd have strings all over me. What about things I can't keep tied to me, like pencils and erasers? Oh, for times like that, that's a different ritual. All you have to do is make a house for Mr. Pencil and Mr. Eraser. Make a house? You mean build a roof and a bed and stuff? You aren't actually building a house, you're giving them one. For example, take the knife I cut the string with. I want to go home. Yeah, he's such a lonely kid that he wants to go home the moment he steps outside. So if you leave him anywhere else, he'll get lost and start crying. See, we just left Mr. Knife lying there. So he got lonely and started crying. Poor thing, we have to get Mr. Knife home. Mr. Knife's house is right here. See, his whole family of knives is waiting for him. Mama, I'm home. Welcome back. See? Kumasawa-san returned the knife to the knife holder under the sink. Even though she had done something so ordinary, I felt slightly moved, as though the lost little knife had finished his adventure and finally returned home. Once he slid into the spot he was supposed to be in, all the knives would be together and could have a party. Then Kumasawa-san said we should give them their privacy and shut the door. The poor things, hidden by the witch, must get lonely easily, so when the witch tells them she'll take them somewhere fun, they're happy to go along with her. How can you stop them from doing this? Take them home right away. Exactly. They're lonely, naughty kids, so they'll go with the witch if they get the chance, so you must always take them home quickly. Look at that, Mr. Key you just tied to a string. He's sitting there all alone, crying and asking you to put him in his home in your pocket. Sob, sob, I'm lonely. The voice of the lonely Master Key finally reached my ears. I hurried to pick it up, took the other end of the string and tied it to my pocket button, and put the key in my pocket. See, I'm home. Mr. Key gets lonely so easily, so let's take him home right after we use him, okay? If you keep making little friends like this, even Beatrice-sama won't be able to prank you much longer. Clink. When break time was over, and I stood up to see what I should help with next, I felt a tug, and the key ring with the master key fell to the floor. Once again, I had left the master key on the side of the sofa and forgotten it was there. The instant I stood up, the string pulled on it, and it fell to the floor. Without Kumasawa-san's spiderweb charm, I would probably have left that master key lying here again. The master key left all alone would have been led away by the witch and disappeared. Whew, that was close, and once again I heard the master key, who had almost been left on its own, cry and tell me that it wanted to go home. I'm sorry. Come on, let's go back home to my pocket. Yay, I'm home! Thank goodness. I almost got pranked by the witch again. Oh, what's this? What an amusing notion using string like that. All of a sudden I heard a wild, shocked voice from over my shoulder. It was a voiceless voice, a witch's voice, the kind you can't hear unless you try. Beatrice? That's me, my friend. You forgot about your key again, and just when I was about to tease you a bit. It's a spiderweb charm that Kumasawa-san showed me. Apparently it does its job well. Indeed, I hate to admit it, but it does. I certainly wouldn't want to touch that. After all, you wouldn't want to put your finger on a razor and slide it across, would you? Ooh, that's a scary example. My finger hurts just thinking about it. But good for you. You didn't have to get yelled at by Natsui for losing your key again. You should be thanking me. Why? Because I annoyed you. You learned of that ritual, correct? Thanks to that, you've managed to avoid the screw-up of forgetting where you'd left your key once again. In other words, it is all thanks to me. Waha, don't I deserve some gratitude? Nom nom nom. I really don't like it, but she does have a point. Because of all the trouble Beatrice caused me, I talked to Kumasawa-san and learned the ritual from her, even without the witch's pranking. If I didn't have that ritual, I would have gone to my next job and left the master key here. If that happened, then surely I wouldn't have been able to find the key, and it would have been a big mess. We call this punishment to make it an example. By magnifying your mistakes, I've shown you what they are as a friend. Don't you see how much you've grown? I get the feeling that Kumasawa-san is the one I should be thanking, not you. My, what a thankless job we witches have. Anyway, I win this time. Okay, I need to get back to work now. Very well, my friend. We'll call this your victory. However, I'm bad at giving up. I'll keep watching you and even more closely now until I can get even the score. Prepare yourself. There are still several solid items that a person like you is likely to forget. You can't attach strings to all of them. The spiderweb ritual isn't the only one I have. I also learned the take them home ritual. I won't let you have your way anymore. Humph, let's see how well you actually do. Even so, that's quite the bright smile you've got there. When a witch appears, it should be time to cry, not laugh. Your break time is over. See if you can manage to do your job today without slowing down the older servants. Sure, today is Sunday and the weather is wonderful. I'd better do my best. Indeed. Go to it with all you can manage. Oh, that's right, Shannon's been in a mood all morning. You'd better try and avoid eye contact with her. Also, your fortune for the day is water hazard. Make sure you take care when standing near buckets of water. This is you we're talking about. I'll be waiting for you to knock over a bucket and get scolded just like usual. Thank you, Beatrice. Back when I still couldn't see her, I simply hated this prank-loving witch. But now I could talk with her, it felt as though she wasn't all bad. Of course, there was no need for me to be grateful to her, to the witch called Beatrice who despises boredom. Mocking the misfortune of others is like what eating food is to us. Humans and witches are different, incompatible beings, and yet it felt as though we could become friends. Of course, she's still a witch. I mustn't get careless, and yet not being careless is a good thing. Thanks to the tricks and rituals I use to keep her at bay, I'm able to concentrate. That could hardly be a bad thing. Those things will be useful for my job in life, and even when I don't have to worry about the witch's pranks. I see, so this witch called Beatrice really is like a demon. Apparently it's possible to build up a friendship even while speaking hostilely to each other. Ever since then, there was an incredible change in that kid.